For more on what's happening, I'm joined now by Murray McCormick. He's the Rough Riders beat writer for the Regina Leader-Post and Post Media. Thanks for being here.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. What a beautiful day for football. Huh, what a waste.
Murray, how did we get here?
We got here way back in February when the league and the CFLPA met for what seemed to be progressing talks. They were dealing with the minor details, and we thought, man, things are going, but veterans like myself know that the real game doesn't start till it gets near training camp. And then a little while ago, the league dropped this bombshell of a collective bargaining agreement with them, 10-year deal, reduction of the Canadian ratio, American ratio, and all sorts of things that just blew up. And we knew we were going to be an ugly one. And then Saturday, they come back with another deal that's even more onerous for the players, other than some part 7-year deal, revenue sharing that the players don't like, inclusion of padded practices, and all these things that people in the real world aren't too concerned with, but just blew up on a Saturday afternoon. CFL walks away from the bargaining table, and as people know in the real world, when you walk away from the bargaining table, there isn't any bargaining.
So as it stands, what's the current state of things? Are they on strike officially?
Yes, they're on strike. But it's funny, sports writers don't like to use the word strike, but they're on strike. They can't work. It's strike, work stoppage. It's not a lockout, though, because they could still access some of the team facilities at some stage. So we're on strike. This is on strike. I watched a bunch of guys stretch and do nothing yesterday. This morning I was out watching the offense stretch and run around. It's just on strike. It's a strange, strange world.
So what are the major sticking points? Who's asking for what?
Some of the major sticking points is the transparency of revenue sharing. Hard to believe the CFL players don't exactly trust the owners when it comes to opening up the books, so they want an auditor. Another thing is, and it sounds crazy going strikeout, but one of the things the CFL wants to bring back is padded practices. They want to bring back 12 padded practices. The players are against that. They haven't had padded practices for quite a few years, and they pointed a reduction of injuries. But football coaches need padded practices. They need the guys to hit, because the bottom line in football, that's a big one. There's also the term of the deal. The originally mentioned was 10 years. The CFL wants to go 7 years. CFLPA would like to see 5 years, so we avoid this stuff happening every year. And people will say, doesn't they just have another negotiation last year? They do. They want to somehow change that. The CFLPA and one of its sides would like to see the CFL, the bargaining done 30 days before the opening of training camp to avoid all the stress and anxiety that is taking place right now. So a lot of little things that don't seem that important, but they are important to the players. And I forgot to mention, they want to bump up the minimum salary from $65,000 to $70,000, and then $75,000 in 2027. Players are okay with any money extra coming in, but they would like to see a little more coming in on that front too.
So Murray, where do we go from here? Will the Riders host the preseason game that's supposed to be a week from today? Is that feasible?
I really wish I could answer that question, but right now it's not an unanswerable question. I think if they haven't settled by Wednesday, I think the preseason game will be off the books. But never say never in the CFL. Maybe they need a couple of days to get ready to practice. The players are concerned about showing up for a game to play in game shape when they haven't really played since last November. So I think Wednesday will be the deciding factor. And I also kind of think Wednesday will be the day when we get an idea how long this might go on. Because if they haven't agreed to a deal by then and they're canceling preseason games, I think things are going to go on a little while longer. I'm not optimistic, but it's going to get settled. It always gets settled. We always know how long that'll be. That's going to be a question we're going to have to answer in the long run, but it will get settled, but I just don't know how much blood is going to be spilled till we reach that point.
Well, thanks so much for this, Murray.
Well, I hope I help provide some information to people, and I know labor isn't my thing, but if you want to talk football, maybe in the next time we talk, we can talk a little football.
All right. Murray McCormick covers the Riders for the Regina Leader-Post and Post Media. He joined us from Saskatoon.